Hey there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And today we are using this wonderful Pretty Perennials photopolymer stamp set and the coordinating Pretty Perennials dies, or perennial petals I think they're called. These are in the January to June mini catalogue, and unfortunately they are not carrying over into the annual catalogue, so they don't feature, but they're still available right now as part of that mini. So we're having another play with those today. I think this is just a superb set for anybody starting out in card making. It's just so versatile with the sentiments. Florals just go with anything, and the dies are just stunning too. It's a really great value set. Okay, designed by one of our one of the US demonstrators called Dino Rico. Really lovely. So the sample card is this one. So this is what we're aiming for. Something on there. So we've got 4 shades of ink at play here. And what I wanted to do with this card was also feature the new in colours with some of our core colours and see how they fit into the colour family. So we've got Fresh Freesia here, which is the new colour, but we've teamed it with Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and then the centres and the sentiment are in Blackberry Bliss. I've got some Blackberry Bliss ribbon there, and I've brought in the Fresh Freesia in the layer as well. So I think that's turned out pretty darn good. Okay, so we're going to do sort of the same thing, but we're going to feature Pale Papaya. Okay, so having a bit of a look at how we're going to incorporate Pale Papaya into the mix. Here it is. Okay, so I've gone for Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and then Cajun Craze. Okay, so we've got this sort of warm orange sort of tone coming through. Okay, so as I did with the original sample, I've cut the base card in that very darkest colour, which is Cajun Craze. So that's already cut. My layer is Pale Papaya. Now this was an offcut from one of my projects from the weekend. So hopefully you caught that. And then, excuse me, we can layer over the top of that piece, just about. Okay, to make our layer. So we've got that going on right now. Ribbon wise, so it was going to be the darkest colour that we needed for the ribbon, so that is Cajun Craze. Now Cajun Craze does not have any coordinating ribbon, but we can make a coordinating ribbon. So I've brought out the white seam binding ribbon that we've got, crinkled seam binding, and I'm going to take the Cajun Craze Stamp and Blend marker, and I'm going to colour this ribbon with that. I've got more than I need, so I can hold on to it. And this is a fabulous way to customise ribbons. So the white ribbons in the catalogue are just really useful because you can do this with them. Okay, so I'm doing this first to make sure it's got plenty of time to dry completely. Because it's thin, you only need to go over one side of it. Some of the thicker ribbons you may need to go onto the reverse as well. So we have got some coordinating Cajun Craze ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to one side just so that it's going to be completely dry before we use it. I've got a piece of cardstock here to do some stamping on, so we're going to use that same large bloom, and we've got in no particular order, let's go lightest to darkest, then we don't have to keep wiping in between. Let's move that out of the way just for a moment. So I'm going to start with Petal Pink, which just have a sort of peachy undertone to it. Just nice firm pressure over there. petal pink. Just moving things to one side as I'm using them. This is our new pale papaya. So that petal pink was so pale, it isn't going to harm the ink pad if we just go in on top of that. That's no problem. Okay. And then we've got Calypso Coral. So again, we're going darker, so that light colour isn't going to harm that ink pad whatsoever. So we can fit that one in just there. Just trying to make the most of my cardstock. Just giving that a good wipe off now. Okay, and then we've got our Cajun Craze that we can do our centres and sentiments with. So centres first, just light tapping on there. Okay, we get a couple in over there and over here. Okay, excellent. I'm not going to risk trying to fit my sentiment in there. I'm going to use a separate piece of cardstock which I have put down. There it is. I put it very carefully next to the die that I'm going to die cut it with so that I would know it was there. Silly me. So with the same Cajun Craze, we're going to do the sentiment, Happy For You, light tapping on that ink pad. Okay, and we're just going to stamp that in the middle there so we've got plenty of room for the die to go round it. Just firm, even pressure, and then lift off. Beautiful. And then we've got the companion sentiment that says For You. Now you've got sort of choices as to where you put this, but I thought we would just put it in there so it just sort of nestles into the tails of those other letters. Okay, stamping is done. Okay, so like I say, we're going to use one of these Stitch So Sweetly dies here, which just about fits the word happy there. Just looking for the gap across the top of the H there, just to make sure that that's covered. Transfer that over to my cut and emboss machine. And in actual fact, I think we'll just get that one cut, and then I've got plenty of space for the other things to go through. It takes a moment. So, as you can imagine, we're going to have to do this we'll have to die cut the flowers 3 times. There's a little bit of a smudge there, was probably a little bit quick to pick that up because it's only slight. I'm just going to use a sander razor just to get the worst of that off, then go over that with a regular razor. That's pretty much got it. Got it enough so that it's not so obvious anyway, so that's ready to go. And then we've got our other 2 dies here that we need to do. I've already die cut the centres just to sort of try and save a little bit of time, although probably turns out that we were going to be die cutting 3 times anyway. When I'm lining up the die, I'm looking for sort of this petal with the 3 bumps, because there's the little bit there with the 3 bumps, so that's how I line it up. And then this one has got sort of a straight set of 3 there, which is that set of 3, which we can tape into position. Okay, so we're just going to have to do this 3 times, alright? It doesn't take a super long time. Any crunching and cracking is completely normal. It's not a problem. It's just the die's cutting into the acrylic cutting plates on the machine. Just doing their job. I am just putting the tape as onto the as little onto the stamped image as possible, just in case it pulls the fibres. Okay, so where's this one going? The 3 bumps are there. That goes like that. So we'll put the tape at the top there, so it's nowhere near the other stamped image. Just holds it in place enough just to die cut it without it slipping. So there's 2. Of our flowers done, and then the last one. The 3 bumps are there, so that goes like that. And then this one, like, am I going to fit them in? Oh, probably should have planned that a little better. You don't want your dies to cross over on the plate. Just enough room. That was close. Probably should have done that one at that time. Right, third and final pass through the machine then to get those die cut. So those are all our elements ready to go. Right, I'm going to bring in a silicone sheet just so that I don't end up with glue everywhere. So this is a really lovely little gizmo, just to help keep things tidy. So I'm going to put a blob of glue like that on there. I'm going to lay our centre piece over the top. They do kind of line up. There is that sort of triple bit there in the same way there is on the die, but I don't think it desperately matters if they're not quite lined up. And because the glue has squidged up through that hole in the centre, there's enough in there to just place our centres in as well. Any glue that escapes around the side, like it did on that last one, is going to dry clear, so it's not a bother. And that just gives, so those have just got a few seconds to set. I'm going to grab, I'll put 3 on, some dimensionals ready on that. Leave those out for the flowers, just give them a moment just to set, and we will take this down to our paper. I say the this you know, because I've die cut into this, but it's actually a way of saving cardstock. So if I wanted, if this was my last piece of cardstock, I could, in theory, die cut a few things out of that and still have my border that will go around, which is a good little tip there if you're really running low on a particular cardstock or something and you're desperate to finish a project. The ribbon's going to go across the middle-ish. So it's going to be way longer than we need it to be, but that's fine. The ribbon, you get loads of ribbon on a spool when you buy from Stampin' Up. There aren't many spools that I've actually got to the end of, apart from my beloved tulle ribbon that retired. Oh, so sad that that's gone. I did like putting that on to my cards, but never mind, we have lots of new stuff instead. Right, so that's going on like so. Just got a little bit of adhesive that has just caught the edge of that card. So if you just take a white rubber, go over the edge there, it'll take that away. There we are. Right, so that's our card base. Have we got it the right way around yet? Cool. The sentiment's going to go on next, and then we can place our blooms all around it. So just taking that over to the side there. Just realised I should have put my dimensionals top and bottom rather than across the middle. Oh, that's stuck okay, that's fine, because it's going across the ribbon, you see, so I just wanted to make sure that that was secure enough, that was all. Okay, right, our papaya flower is going to be the one that we're going to raise up the most. So this is actually going to get 2 dimensionals onto it, just to double the height there. Oops. And then our other 2 will just have a single dimensional in the back there. So we'll put these 2 down first. So I'm just putting those in those corners, like so. And then the double dimensionals will lift that centre flower up above the base flowers and the sentiment, just to give another level on there. Okay, so that is it, ladies and gents. I'm not going to add any extra bling or anything. I'm just going to let them do their thing as they are. This was the original sample. I do like the purple. Okay, but as I say, the focus here was to try to use up some use of those products again, and I wanted to show how the new in colours fit in with the existing Stampin' Up colour palette with the base colours. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful and given you an idea of how those work together. Those pretty perennial dies and stamps are just phenomenal, really useful. So I would recommend grabbing those before they disappear too. Links to all the products I've used are in the description bar below. Please do take a look. When you click on that link, it should take you straight into the online shop to that exact product, so you can put it straight into your basket. If you haven't got a catalogue and you live in the UK, let me know. I do have a few spare ones. That's the new annual catalogue, by the way. But there is a link down there to the sort of Stampin' Up shop, so you can kind of browse online as well. That's it really. So I hope you like that. Take care everybody. See you soon. Stay safe. Bye.